So here we are again, chopping it up at the mid stakes. And I'll tell you what, guys, we got a really good one to go over some interesting spots. This is also going to run for about 20 minutes. But, I always like to give a little background on myself. And basically, I've been playing for the last 2 decades, hop on about 4 times a week playing mid stakes. And I don't have one type of strategy like GTO, ABC, or whatever. I really focus on two things. The first is making good decisions because at the end of the day, we do have control over that. And the second thing is I try and use strategies against my opponents and exploit them as much as possible, meaning I will bluff without hesitating if I think somebody is weak. And after playing so many hands, you kind of pick up on these little things a lot quicker. Of course, as I'm getting into this, also want to let you guys know we have an awesome community in the pinned comment section where you could talk to me one-on-one as well as with some other high-level members. Now, if you're stuck or hitting a wall at your current stake and just want to take things more seriously, highly recommend getting in there. Also, if you guys could tap the like, man, and let's get right into this. And like I said, it's going to run a little, for about 20 minutes. So grab a bottle of water, some Gatorade, or some coffee. And, let's lock in, man. All right, so we got pocket jacks pretty early on here. And we do have a pretty big spot that's going to come up a little bit later. So, yeah, you're definitely not going to want to miss it. I was pretty bluffy, though, to start things off here for sure. So I was bluffing a little bit. If we take a look at the table, looks like player one was doing pretty good. Everybody else is kind of just where they're at. I always kind of look at that, when I start things off. Another thing, too, after about like 20 to 30 minutes, you kind of pick up on how people are playing, right? So you just want to if you notice everyone's playing like super tight folding certain players, then obviously they make it obvious when they have something. I think that, focus is definitely something a lot of people need to start doing, especially if you just want to take it more seriously, right? And you don't really need to play more than 2 tables at a time if you're playing mid stakes, for me, I kind of cap out around 4, I've done more than that before, but at this point, I don't really need to, it is what it is, right? You can still get a good hourly, for the, the time you're putting in. Another thing too, and I actually have some data on this as well, hitting about 10,000 hands per month is a really good baseline to see how you're doing at whatever stake you're playing. And it's hard for me to put all this, just get in the community. Like I said, man, if you, interested in all and just taking things a little bit more seriously, but if you're here to just watch some of this stuff, man, I totally get it too, because we have some spots, man, that we're going to get into here. All right. So ace 10 suited, obviously, I like playing this hand when it's suited. I say it all the time. Ace jack, ace 10 offsuit. They're just tricky hands to play. But when, you got it suited, it's totally different, man. And it just flops so much better. So many more ways to get there when it's suited. All right, so player 6, taking forever to make a decision here. Kind of annoying. I think he's going to limp. Don't really know why he's limping, but okay. We'll kick it up to the 1250 piece. Back over to player 5, who, let's see if he makes this call. No, he's going to fold it. All right, then we got player 6. Let's see if we can, get something going here. Pretty annoying. It's like you limped into this. You barely have anything left, and now you're going to take forever to make a decision. It's like, come on, man. What are you doing, sir? What are you doing? Come on now. All right, so he's finally going to make a call, and of course, we missed everything here. And I ended up checking this. I went for it on the river here. I'm sorry, the turn. And of course, we didn't get there. So we have absolutely nothing. He goes over the top all in. He probably hit the king on the river or something. And I was just like, dude, very frustrating right there. All right, then we got an ace 3 suited. So not really connecting on these boards yet, but it's gonna get better, It's a little choppy to start things off, man. A little chop. It is what it is. Nothing I can do about it. All right, over to player 6. Pick up sticks. I had to say it. I do want some revenge on this guy. I would just like to stack him at this point. He doesn't have a whole lot left. If he came over the top on me, I would call with the ace 3 suited. I wouldn't fold it. All right, he is going to make the call, and we did pair the ace. Okay, so This time I'm not going to check it over. I'm going to go continue here. Kind of large too. You know, he folded it, whatever. See what that turn card would have been. 9. Yeah, it's all good. All right, 5-3, folding it. All right, so down a little bit to start things off, but like I said, a little bit of chop here. A little bit of chop. Folding the 5-3. Folding it. All right, player 6, man. It's like, dude, just somebody take him out already. He's frustrating me, this dude. All right, player 1's going to raise it up. He is going to call. And we somehow flopped the straight. Like, what? You guys see this? I had 5-3. Wow, okay. That doesn't happen too often. Oh, okay, so, you know, turn card wouldn't have been exactly good for us. There's diamond draw out there now, plus you got the 8 to the straight. If player 6 is going to bluff at this, he's going to have to do it here. And putting out a little 5-piece is not going to get it done here. I don't know what this guy was thinking at all. Let's see what player 1 does. So confusing here. Wow, he had the 8. He had the 8. I cannot believe that. That was pretty disgusting. Anyways. All right, we got ace-king offsuit. I'm going to be raising this one up for sure. Play this one pretty aggressive too. You know, I was hoping player 6 would make this call because I really wanted to take him out. But whatever. All right, so we're going to raise it up here to the 45 piece. And really, I'm probably just going to barrel this... you know, this flop, especially if there's a bunch of low cards, you know what I mean? So let's see what happens here. That was what I was thinking anyways. If this guy would have re-raised us too, like, obviously I'm going to come over the top. I don't, like, love the spot, but at the same time, we got ace-king, right? So he's going to tank for a second here. He is going to make the call, and flop is basically a bunch of low cards. Instead of just continuing here, I just came over the top. I'm pretty much repping an overpair to this guy. So even if he had a pair of 10s right there, I felt like he'd probably just let it go. Turn card wouldn't have helped us out anyways, and I did like the play there, even though we had absolutely nothing. All right, king 9. All right, so now we're kind of like back up to where we started, and let's see if we can turn it around, man. I hope you guys are still with me, like I said, man, because it's going to get better. Let's see if we can turn this one around, because that's what we're trying to do here. We are trying to turn this around. All right, so we got nothing here. I actually ended up just giving this up, I think. Let me see what player 6 did. Or we just checked it. Yeah, it was just a check, and wow. Did you see what he had? Ridiculous. No words for that one. Anyways, here we are. All right, so we had another ace-10 suited. This time it's spades. Okay. I like that. I'll take that. All right. Once again here, player 6, you do not want to play like this guy. He's just limping every time. We paired the ace here, and once again, I'm not going to play this slow at all, okay? He's going to call turn card good enough for us to basically, you know, take him out here if he wants to make this call. Wow, he called us with 4-5, and we took him out. And you know what? I'm going to pat myself on the back for that because that guy was really frustrating me. All right, so thank you for that, man. Wow. Okay, next time we had an ace-8 suited, so now we're up a little bit. You know, things are starting to trend our way, and we're just getting warmed up still, so stick with me. All right, ace-8. And like I said, man, community, pin comment, you know, and you guys looking to just kind of step things up or take it more seriously, man, I'll tell you what, get in it. But here we are, ace-8. All right, unfortunately, we missed this one. You know, it is what it is. The flushes haven't really been there for us in this one. I've noticed every time we've had a couple suited cards, it's just not you know, it is what it is. We just haven't really connected. All right. All right, 6-5 off, folding it. All right, pocket tens, man. All right, we'll take tens. We'll take them tens. Yes, sir. All right, on to the next one, guys, and we got a king 10. So we're kind of making our way to, you know, the spot of this one, but king 10 suited, man, on the button here. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. We're on the button. We are on that button. All right, pretty standard raise here. Player 4 is going to make the call, and I think player 6 is going to let this go. So I'm kind of hoping for a re-raise at this point. Everyone's been playing so tight, you know. All right, we just get a call back over to player 6. I just want somebody to raise. All right, so nothing, but we did flop trips. 10 kicker, feeling pretty good about that. And at this point, you know, I think slow playing probably makes sense because I got to figure, like, you know, but player 4 led out, which was really good for us. So I'm just going to make this call. There's no reason to raise this. I'm also going to, like, take a second to think about it, like, you know, do I want to make this call kind of thing, kind of slow play it. All right, turn card was a 5. Doesn't really change a whole lot. If player 4 leads out again, you know, he didn't. All right, so he kind of just checked it over. River card was a deuce. You know, if he checks here, obviously he's raising the white flag, but we got to go for some value here. So I'm going to keep it kind of small because I feel like he's not going to call more than this, you know, if he has a pair, you know what I mean? But he folded it anyways. So, you know, it is what it is. I think he was just trying to take a stab at it, even though it didn't do anything for him. And, you know, it's all good. All right, so we got a couple more hands here before we kind of get into the big one. Hope you've stuck with me. Hope you've enjoyed some of this stuff and my thought process and, you know, whatever. You know, the thing is, man, like, when you start playing against better opponents, you got to mix things up. You just cannot play like a GTO ABC style. You got to bluff, and you got to make plays. I mean, that's just what it is, you know. And that's kind of what puts you over the edge, you know, and gets you an edge. For that matter. All right, but here we are. All right, queen 9, we had nothing here. Okay, and we've made it to the moment. And I'll tell you what, this was a spot where, you know, Jack 9 suited, I am going to open here. And if somebody raises us, obviously I'm not going to fold this. You know what I'm saying? So, and we also went down a little bit from, you know, the last hand. We had a little bit of chop, but, you know, still up a little bit in this one. Just need to point that out. All right, 12.50 piece. back over to player 3. And I think player 4 is going to be the one that re-raises this. So I think he's going to kick it up to like the 50 piece. And I am going to make a call. I'm not folding, obviously. You didn't figure that one out by now. And hopefully we get some hearts or some straight draws, because that's really what I'm looking for here with this Jack 9. Now, we could be putting player 4 on over pairs. I mean, I guess he could also have like an ace king or an ace queen suited. Those are the type of hands that you're going to expect to make this play. But we are going to make this call. Okay, back over to player 3, who is also going to make the call. I don't know what player 3 has. I was kind of thinking maybe like a mid pocket pair or low pocket pair. And he's maybe just trying to see if he can get something, right? Anyways, the flop is going to put us in a tricky spot. We have top pair, but is it good? That's kind of the question. And this is one of those hands where we got to play a little bit of defense. You know, I'm not going to be, raising this, but I will play defense. I'm not folding just yet. I'm hoping for a check. If we could check it to the turn and get like a jack on the turn, that would be nice. Even better, we got the 9. And, our hand is pretty sneaky. I don't think anybody's going to be putting us on a 9 here. I'm hoping that one of these guys has like a pocket pair that maybe they're slow playing, Like if pocket 7s or pocket 8s, I could see somebody having that in this spot. They're probably not going to fold. Player 3 is going to do something I wasn't expecting at all. But obviously when he does, I'm not folding here. He's going to come over the top. So I don't know what he has. It's possible he has like pocket 5s or pocket 3s, but I don't think he would have done this. I think maybe he has an overpair like 8s, 7s, 6s, maybe 10s or jacks. Jacks less likely. I think he has like a pocket pair, and my instincts on this were correct. He's going to see the bad news. Pocket 10s, tough turn card, and we dodged the 10 on the river and we took it down, man. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed another one here. Like I said, if you've been watching a lot of this stuff here, I appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't. Get in the community, pin comment, and we'll see you in the next one.